Yes. Welcome in. It's Balloon Party, 101 ESPN. My name's Tim McKernan. That's Jackson Burkett. I don't have the time for you to start talking about the upcoming Western Conference projections in the association because we got too much to get to. We got an hour. We got to maximize it. We had a sports smorgasbord yesterday. This weekend, Cardinals and Cubs. Oh, what a comeback on Saturday night. Tough one yesterday. We have Wimbledon. We have the Euros. We have City losing 4-1 to the Whitecaps. These Whitecaps are becoming a burr in our saddle around these parts. We had unruly fans at Hard Rock in South Florida. Jackson has questions. I'm going to try to have answers, but you can participate as well. Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. Or the YouTube chat, where 60 people are waiting for us before we even got in the air.
That does feel good. That feels good.
How about that? Happy Monday, Balloon Party group, especially Tim and Jax. That's from John Gray. What a special spirit.
I appreciate that. We're the only two in the Balloon Party group, though, so...
Wow, I guess you don't count the audience who make this show possible and the sponsors like Munganess St. Louis Acura, Munganess Burkhardt, Alton Toyota, presenting sponsor. Is that what you're saying? Well, James Carlton, he was just in studio in TMA.
I count the sponsors and thanks, Dad. That's the Balloon Party Collective.
Great Auto Detailing.
That's your guy.
That is my guy.
I can't speak as much to him. He doesn't seem like the biggest fan of
Your
me.
mom's boyfriend says, I don't have any 10 a.m. meetings this week. Let's go. Let's have a great week.
That's nice. That's nice. We'll be your 10 a.m. meeting. This is. Can you take the minutes? Make my job easier.
Yeah, like a secretary of defense.
Like a scribe.
Like a scribe. Scribble Scrummer. All right, Jackson. I mean, you got the weekend wrap-up. Where are you going to start? Ladies and gentlemen, Jackson Burkett.
Let's take a look at this Cardinal team and use the start of the season as a reference point. Now that we have reached the All-Star break, are the Cardinals better or worse than you anticipated? Do you have a clearer idea of the franchise's direction than you did in late March? Is this a roster worth fighting for come the end of the month? And what remains the most looming question of the season?
Okay, so the Cardinals are 50-46.
They are.
Of course, is well more than 81 games, so we're well past the
halfway point.
So let me do some algebra. Keep in mind,
66?
I didn't go to Horton Watkins. So it's difficult for me to do this. Do you know what their win total would be based on the projection right now? Let's see if you can do some math. Ladies and gentlemen, Jackson Burkett, he wants you to know he went to Ladue and he thinks he's better than you.
So they played 94 games?
96 games. 50 plus 46, 96 games.
All right. Okay, so that means that they have 66 left to go on the campaign.
This is what my sons do when I try to get them to bed.
I don't know.
You can still guess.
I know, but...
Fire a ball at the pond. You got to put a puck on net in order to score. Let's go. Let's go, boys. Skate.
80...
Michael Ruzioni.
80...
Boston University. I play for the United States of America. That's all, boys.
Would they have won Were they on pace to win 83 baseball games?
God, so close. See, aren't you glad you put the puck on a net?
No.
84.
Okay, I feel good. I undershot it too.
Therefore, I would tell you this is right where I thought they would be, because I think I was on the 83 to 85 train.
The path to get there is a little bit windy, Robert Frost
winding
style.
road.
Yeah, but ended up kind of where we thought. Just certainly, now the better question is like not late March, but like late April. If you would have thought they would have been in this spot, probably not. But late March, yes.
Probably not. I would actually, if you asked me, do I think, if you set the over-under for wins at, the number like 85.5, I think I would put my money on over.
Right now?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think it's in the 86, 87 when it's all said and done.
Because they have guys who have not performed well that still could, and then who knows where that goes.
And are starting to get right.
Yeah.
So if you, like you said, you're 100% correct that the win total, if you would have said at the All-Star break they will have played 96 games, I would have thought they would have been right around 50 wins. I mean, that's just what the math is, because I thought 83 to 85 wins. However, my reasoning for how they got there would be all over the place and was not right. Because up until recently, Nolan Arenado was borderline liability. I did not see this coming from Burleson. That's super exciting.
Yep.
If you would have told me that Jordan Walker is hanging out in Memphis without even like a way to get to Sikeston, much less St. Louis on I-55, then I'd go, oh my goodness, what's going on? So the way that it's occurred has been super surprising. And at the same time, if you would have told me Helsley, what is he at the break with? How many saves?
32?
Is it 32?
I think it's 32.
I'd be like, what are they going to win 120 games?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's just been all over the map. The reasoning, and keep in mind Contreras, who's been their best hitter, missed 7 weeks.
Yep.
So with that all established, I want to make this clear, because every comment on this baseball team is a referendum on an individual's character in St. Louis in 2024. I don't expect this to be like a 95-win team, but if you set the over-under on wins at 85.5, and I guess the fair way to set it would be 84.5, because their win projection right now, to be exact, is 84.375. I think I would go over.
I would too.
Because of who they're getting back. Now, again, you can't control outlier events like injuries, such as Contreras. But that's where I think I would go. Schedules, God, there's some testers coming up
For sure.
Now, with that said, it's super tight for the wild card. I keep going back to, if I were firing a bullet, a long shot bullet, you know where I am.
Oh, yeah. Buccos.
I'm on the Pirates as a long shot bullet. Not because I'm like, they will win, but I like they're plus 8,000 to win the World Series.
Yeah, they got the pitching.
Plus, I think, 4,000 maybe to win the National League. Might be more than that.
Yeah.
If you have a guy who will be taking the ball tomorrow in the All-Star game that is just borderline unhittable. Mm-hmm. And now, who knows what he'll be like after his first full major league season? Maybe he starts to trend downward. Who knows? And he wins when you pitch, and you're playing, most likely, unless the Pirates somehow win the Central, a best of 3. Well, then you're in a pretty good spot.
Yeah,
because the math is very favorable that you've won a game.
Yeah.
Then, if you get into another one of those kind of shorter series, best of 5, and you got him pitching 2 of those, now you got yourself a little situation. So that's my reasoning for it. As far as if you want to just fire a Hail Mary, do I think the Pirates are better than the Dodgers or Phillies? No, but the way that the season's constructed, the postseason's constructed, that's where I'd go with, which is why the Cardinals, I wonder what they will do here in, what do we got here? Go 16, 17 days.
Yeah. That gets back to my question. Is this roster worth fighting for at the end of the month with the deadline?
Like I said, I think I said this last week, my view on what is a good team, I think, has to change with the playoff system. Like, do I think that this is a team that is up there with even the 10 best teams that we've seen since 2000 in St. Louis? And I would instantaneously say no.
Right.
However, I could see this team making a run. I just don't know. I don't know how to handicap it anymore, because it strikes me as so just get in and, okay, Diamondbacks, Rangers, let's go get them. I don't know. I can't figure it out.
I'm with you. So, like, when you brought up, like, if I were to take
So, therefore, to answer your question, give you a straight answer, and then I'll shut up.
Okay.
If they can get a guy, I don't know if Sonny Gray is like your, he's obviously not Skeens. That goes without saying. But if you had Sonny Gray pitching when he's on, Sonny Gray is really a high floor, low ceiling guy. Maybe one of the most high floor, low ceiling guys of the guys who are in the top 15 Cy Young odds right now. In other words, his floor is pretty damn low and he's rough. But if you had a guy to pair him with, and therefore I'm on this 1-2 punch thing in particular in the best of 3.
Yeah.
So if they can acquire that without giving up, take your pick of whoever it would be that you would feel really uncomfortable with, then yes, because it's just, okay, take your chances. It's just a different way to view the baseball season than I grew up, and not even grew up, even in my 40s, than I viewed the baseball season. You could tell if a team had it for the most part. The weird part about St. Louis is the last 2 world championships entering the month of September, you probably didn't think either one really had it in 2006 and 2011. But there have been plenty of years where you could tell. I think 2013 was maybe the most on brand outside of the obvious one, the team that's held up in the highest regard in the 2004 team, and then that 2013 team, maybe 2005, I don't know.
Yeah,
As far as
2013.
teams where it was kind of on track, but 2013 actually got to the World Series.
Yeah, first great team without Albert. That felt different, but it was still an outstanding baseball team. Yeah, when you asked take the over under an 84.5 or even 85.5, I'm with you that I think I would.
I mean, that's why I said it there.
Right.
I'm not like, yeah, that's a lock.
No, of course not. But I think when you look at it, I think this team more so than a lot of teams will certainly benefit from an All-Star break where you can rest some arms because this bullpen sustainability is like the key if this team's going to make a run. And then historically, guys like Goldschmidt, this is the time where he heats up. Now his starting point is clearly much lower this season, but historically he gets better at this time of the year. And if you can get, you're seeing a little bit better from Arenado, you might get Tommy Edman return, still waiting on that. Lars Nootbaar back. Yeah, maybe that this team seems more set up for a better second half than first half, even though the first half was topsy-turvy where the first month stunk and then the last month and a half has been great. I think we're going to see more consistency. I just think it'll be consistency that'll net you about 85 wins, and that should be good enough to make get in the wild card and then buckle up your seatbelts because here come the Red Bees. Yeah. That's where I'm at.
Oh, wow. What a passionate conclusion to that speech.
I just still don't know if it's worth leveraging your future in any way, shape, or form for somebody at the deadline. I'm still not positive on that. I don't know the pool out there. I'm not going to pretend I know who the third starter
for example,
Mariners are.
Quintana, you knew in 2022 he was going to be moving. Jordan Montgomery, I didn't see coming.
Right.
That stunned me. I remember watching MLB Network when that came through. I'm like, oh, my God, I love Jordan Montgomery. Thought that it would be good to move on from Bader. It wasn't anything personal. Hell, it's one of the guys I knew best on the team. But it just was like, I just think that they're going to keep playing him, and I just don't think the upside is where they hoped it would be on that. Just for the record, Jackson, you're a big splits guy, aren't you?
Love a split.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me give you some splits for the month of July.
Yeah.
Paul Goldschmidt is got an OPS of 717. Wilson Contreras an OPS of 1.036, and Nolan Arenado 867.
Okay.
So that's Nolan Gorman, and Nolan Arenado 770. So across, and Burleson 1.041, and that's rake season there.
Big time. Holy hell.
So as far as your core guys, you've seen the uptick, and I realize they've lost 3 of 5, and they had to have a hell of a comeback on Saturday night to sweep that doubleheader. Otherwise, it would have been 4 or 5. But you're starting to see some guys hit or continue to hit, along with Arenado and Goldschmidt showing signs. So from that standpoint, along with getting guys back, and then I wonder if you do have what you feel like is a surplus, then you can trade for what would be somebody to pair with in the postseason. Because I just think I don't know. I don't know if I was watching. It probably wasn't Rosenthal, because I don't think he would say this. But I don't know. It wasn't just like guy on Twitter talking to no one. It was a show with a following, and one of the hosts said, can I see the, Brewers making a run in October? No, I can't. Can I see the, Astros making a run in October? Yeah, I can't. It's like, to me, if you get into October, you can make a run in October. This is not the NBA.
Right.
It's not even the NFL. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of, sure, of course, you can have outliers. 22 finals or 23 finals in the NBA? 23. We had an 8 seed and going up against Denver, which was
3 or 4,
but had been one of the top seeds. Point being, I don't know how you can look at any team that gets into the playoffs in baseball and go, they don't have a chance.
No, we remember, what was it, 2022? Like the one team you said, like the Phillies were the team that won't do it, and
then they were. So I don't see it that way.
No.
I feel very confident at the beginning of a season, or even right now, and going, okay, who cannot win 90 games?
Right.
But as far as who can make a run and win a World Series, it's just, that's what I'm saying. My view on what a world championship team is has to change with the way the format has created the opportunity for many more teams that 15 years ago would have had no chance to win a World Series.
Right.
That's what I'm attempting to convey. 10:20 in St. Louis. Time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers. Jackson Burkett has his weekend wrap-up questions for you. More on the other side of Jackson's weekend wrap-up? Or
Weekend reflection.
Weekend reflection. Okay. It's all brought to you by Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton, Toyota. It's Balloon Party, 101 ESPN. Welcome back to Balloon Party 101 ESPN. Tim McKernan, Jackson Burkett with you here on the program. Munganess is the sponsor. That's stlouisacura.com and altontoyota.com. Jackson Bennett Burkett is brought to you by Ladue, Horton Watkins, and he has the weekend reflections.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. My battery on my laptop's about to die. Oh, boy. All right, here we go. The Blockbuster saga is always something that interested me. A company on the forefront of the culture.
Talking about Blockbuster Video?
That's right.
Okay, wow. This is interesting. Where are we going here? This guy.
A company on the forefront of the culture offering a service that seemingly was foolproof. However, despite changing technology right under their noses, they failed to adapt despite multiple opportunities to survive and advance. When looking at the realm of sport, do you see any league or sport that is in a similar spot as Blockbuster, a once cultural giant that is on the brink of a big drop-off, or does it seem the fate of the future for most leagues is already written? If you can identify one, what's their path to continued relevancy, and what do you think could be the move that ends them?
I kind of feel like we talked about this on Friday with buying or selling leagues.
Doldrums.
All right, then I'd like to pass.
Okay, that's gonna be a problem. That was my best arrow in the quiver.
Oh boy.
Well, yeah. All right. You asked for it. If St. Louis City were anthropomorphized,
What in the name? What is that word?
Taking an inanimate object and making it a person.
Could you repeat the word, please? I feel like I'm doing the spelling bee.
Anthropomorphized.
What in the name? I fancy myself as an educated man.
Yeah,
I realize I have 8 hours left at the University of Missouri, but I have never heard anthropomorphized?
Anthropomorphized.
Jackson, you asked that question on Friday. It's Dan Jansen.
Okay.
Dan Jansen.
All right, fine. Then I'm going to ask this.
You didn't ask why anthropomorphized.
No.
What was the question?
No, this guy gets it. No, this guy's going to get it.
Dan Jansen, this guy's going to get it.
This guy's going to get it, yeah. All right, here you go. What to do about Michael Siani? He's arguably and statistically one of the best outfielders defensively in baseball, while also being one of the...
anger in your voice.
Yeah, no, because this is what he's going to get. He's going to get micro Cardinal questions. Hope you enjoy it, Dan. What to do about Michael Siani? He is one of the best outfielders defensively in baseball, while also being one of the worst hitters in baseball. Does he have any trade value, or are the Cardinals better served seeing if he can develop as a hitter? Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
That was question. It was like a long distance dedication for Dan Jansen. I want to see what Tommy Edman can do. I do value defense in center field, of course. It goes without saying. Very obvious statement. But I'd like to see what Tommy Edman can do. I don't know on the trade value. I feel like his role most likely is a guy who comes in the 8th inning.
Yeah, but if you were a team out there that was really confident in your hitting development, wouldn't someone like Siani be like someone you could get for pretty low price? Because, I mean, I'm not joking. Like, his numbers, his run value defensively is in the top 1% of baseball, and his run value hitting is in the bottom 1%.
What a phenomenon, a true phenomenon.
He is like so bad, especially power. Like, his exit velocity is like might be the worst in all of baseball. But he's defensively, I mean, his run saved is unbelievable. He's so good defensively. I don't think you can teach and / fix the issue offensively. I also don't think his great defense is necessarily teachable, so to speak. For sure.
So it cuts both ways. I just don't. It would be very, very surprising to me. Like, when you look at, I brought up the 2013 Cardinals in the first segment. Do you remember who the shortstop was?
In the 2013 Cardinals?
Yes.
Was it for Call?
No.
Couldn't have been.
Oh, nice. Then I did catch it with.
Hold on. I think I can get this. Cosma?
Yes.
Pete Cosma? Nice.
I mean, the 2013 Cardinals, a 97-win team that beat Garrett Cole and the Pirates in 5. Had to come back to do it. Beat a great Dodgers team in 6. And then was up 2-1 on the eventual world champion Red Sox, who I think would have finished in last place without David Ortiz on the team. The shortstop was Pete Cosma for 143 games.
Yeah. A young Colton Wong at second.
And this was before it was all the rage to hit in the low 200s. He was hitting 217. The next lowest batting average on the 2013 Cardinals was 262 from David Freese.
Oh, boy.
And then you had Molina hitting 319, Alan Craig 315, Matt Carpenter 318, Matt Holliday 300, John Jay 276, and Carlos Beltran 296.
Oh,
and Pete Cosma, if you want to go to OPSs, had a 548 OPS. And yet that team with a defensive, I mean, not to say that he was the second coming defensively, but you know, I mean, that team's offense was that good.
Yeah.
That it could afford to have that situation, so to speak. I mean, and still, you know, win 97 games, and the postseason wasn't as crapshooty as it is now.
And pitchers were still hitting too.
Seth, you speak the truth on that, sir. So, with that all said, for this team with the offense where they are, to have it's like there's a couple spots in a lineup, not just one where you go, oh boy.
It's unfortunate a lot from the outfield regions, which has kind of been a theme here for the last 6-7 years, I guess, outside of like Ozuna's year, where the outfield kind of hits 7, 8, 9, or some version of that.
Carlson was trending in his first year.
But
it's obviously reverse trended.
Yeah, I think with Siani, that's the tough part is he's so valuable defensively. If you had a better offensive team, it's like a no doubt. Just put him in the 8 or 9 hole and just watch him save runs in the outfield. However, if you're hurting for offense, and some points of this year they have been, obviously in the beginning part of the year, it's kind of like, man, what if that was what if Victor Scott could hit 280, then he'd probably be out there. If Jordan Walker could be better, could put him in the corner and someone else in center. But that's not the case.
399 OPS in the month of
Jesus
July.
Christ. 399 OPS.
That's only it's the lowest on the team of anybody who's played more than 3 games. He's at 11 with 27 at bats, 399.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's the thing is if he gets a hit, it's a single.
Yes, there are no extra base hits.
It's tough, but he's so he's made like 3 or 4 incredible catches this year, and probably some pretty routine catches that he makes look routine because he gets such a good jump on the ball. So he has so much value. That's why I just don't know if he has much trade value. So I thought I'd kick it around, and everyone has Dan Jansen to blame for that.
Dan Jansen.
Yeah.
Where's Dan Jansen? Is he in there? Is he responding? Did he feel like that question was for him? Tim bought MLS and sold MLB. Oh, yeah. Is that what I sold? Did I sell Major League Baseball? I don't think you did.
You definitely bought MLS, but I don't think you sold
anything. I don't think I sold MLB. I bought MLS.
Yeah.
I don't think I sold MLB.
No.
I think if anything, I think what I said about that question that came out for an encore today.
In a different way.
That I think baseball will move up here, not necessarily substantially, but move up. Because I just can't imagine the television situation is what it is in 2 years. I cannot imagine. And now if it is, it's time to just unload, get whatever we can for it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. The 616 is, what he's doing, he's playing ball. He said boxing was the blockbuster of pro sports. Thank you. That's a good call.
Nice answer.
That's a
horse racing. Horse racing.
Yeah. Cultural giants, things that took up a huge piece of the culture at one point and now have completely been lapped. And that, I think boxing.
It's all right. I mean, you asked the question. What were you looking for there?
I just thought I'd kick it around. That's a lot of times when I'm writing these questions, I'm like, this would be a fun one to kick around.
Dan Jansen playing the role of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, circa 99-2000, says, "I'm here. Bring it, Piddles."
I just proverbially brought it. That was the Michael Siani. There's more where that came from. You want to talk about micro Cardinal questions? I got them. Oh, my God. I got a whole bushel full of them.
A whole bushel full. What about, we got SEC Media Days. You got the fans going through vents to get into Hard Rock Stadium last night.
I got some questions about that.
Yeah, there you go. I know you were locked in on the attractive guys on England.
Yeah.
Probably devastated.
Yeah, the Spanish guys, though. Pretty solid.
Okay, so all the guys were hot yesterday in Germany.
It was a big day for Western Europe.
All right, there you go. So Jackson's got more where that came from on the second half of Balloon Party. This is 101 ESPN. Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton Toyota, presenting sponsor, Balloon Party on 101 ESPN. And I say go to stlouisacura.com or altontoyota.com and go shopping. You'll be happy you did, because you're going to see an incredible selection of both new and pre-owned vehicles from the great Jamie Burkhardt and Peter Munganess. And that's where me and my family go to get our cars. My mother-in-law getting a car from Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and I got a car from there, and I recommend you get a car from there, and you'll be thrilled that you did, because you get to work with Jamie Burkhardt and Peter Munganess, and they're two of the finest people I have had a chance to work with in the automotive industry. 314-252-0029. That's the number that they set up for our listeners. So if you're going, I want to get an answer, I got a question, just text it, and you're going to hear back from the people in charge. How great of a system is that? That's how much they care about working with their customers. It's Munganess, stlouisacura.com, and altontoyota.com.
This is Action Jackson with a SportsCenter update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals lose yesterday. They split the series 2-2 with the Chicago Cubs over the weekend. The All-Star break is ahead of us, but baseball is still here on 101 ESPN. You get the Home Run Derby tonight. Coverage starts at 7 p.m. right here on 101 ESPN. Then tomorrow night you get the MLB All-Star game. Pre-game will start at 6 p.m. for that. Both of those going on right here on 101 ESPN. And we had some soccer, some international soccer ending yesterday as Spain edges out England 2-1 to win the Euros, and Argentina go back-to-back on the Copa America, winning 1-0 in extra time over Colombia. That was another SportsCenter update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Welcome back, Balloon Party 101 ESPN. Tim McKernan, Jackson Burkett with you into the top of the hour. Jackson has prepared the weekend reflection, but Dan Jansen was not happy with it. Now, Jackson wants a piece of you, and you guys are sideways.
Yeah, I didn't like his tone, I didn't like his tone. There's guys out here putting out the effort, and it's not being rewarded.
Yeah, you're logging a lot of minutes out there.
Yeah, big shifts, and I feel like, I'm just not getting the love. And so, two can play at that game, Dan.
All right, let's see what Jackson's next question is. This is going to send a message.
Yeah, we saw Messi leave the field last night in total pain and emotion.
The 68th minute and weeping on the sidelines of the pitch.
Did you see his ankle?
It looked like a donut.
It is disgusting. That's going to be a brutal comeback for him. That looked awful, and I feel terrible for the GOAT. Pain and emotion, what could have been his last international cap for Argentina, almost certainly his last Copa America appearance. When looking at American sports, do we have a figure, or we have a figure in recent years on the level of mythology like Messi? He's obviously a great player, arguably the greatest of all time, but he has also had that Babe Ruth-style mystique to him where he's truly larger than life. Do you see anyone like that in America?
I like this question.
Because I don't know if we have this. Maybe we're too close to it. That's my thing. Like, you can't do a TikTok dance and be at the Messi level of mystique. As soon as you do a TikTok dance, you're out.
So who did a TikTok dance?
Travis Kelce.
So you went after Travis Kelce right there.
Well, he's out. He can't.
In the Chiefs' home market.
He's too close. And it's getting more and more home market as we speak. But like, I've talked about this before with like the Babe Ruth, the mystique behind him, the fableness to it. Like how it's kind of like whispered throughout history.
I'm sure some would say LeBron James.
He's too much on like social media. We know too much about him.
I see what you're saying on that. Okay.
Like Messi has this mystery. We know way too much about him and his family and all that, which I think is wrong, by the way. But
what do you think?
People going after his family, I find it gross. But
people go after his family?
Yeah, his wife all the time.
What are they doing?
Oh, yeah. His wife, they're like, oh, she seems like the worst, the most annoying person ever. It's because they can't, because Patrick Mahomes is like such a great guy and so like incredible on the field. You have to find something to pick at.
You're talking about like comments, like Instagram posts, right? I assume.
Yeah, I thought that.
I didn't know like if something had happened.
No. Okay. No, it was just like
don't get me wrong, that sucks, but that's just
the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
But I think Messi is so private and like is like so in his own way of just being like the greatest player ever that like I don't know if there is that like even someone like Tom Brady has had so much off the field stuff.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know.
Looking at the YouTube chat, Tiger's getting votes.
Tiger would be. I think
Tiger's a nice play. Whoever said that was Eric Cleveland. Nice job, Eric.
Now I think, but again, he's so shrouded in controversy, especially for the last decade. I think he's the closest, and it's actually more impressive. We'll see. We'll see on that. Obviously, he's had his fair share of controversy. And maybe I'm leaving out some Messi controversy that maybe American sports fans aren't privy.
Thanks, Dad, wrote Kevin Hart.
All-Star game legend, won multiple All-Star game MVPs, and more impressive at his height. So he's right up there.
Kevin Hart.
Tiger Woods, I think, is more impressive because he's had so much controversy, yet still has that legend to him.
Just if you can, I'm asking for 20 seconds here, if you can, because I know this isn't going to be popular. But if Scottie Scheffler winds up kind of going on like a Tiger-like run, he has zero interest in the social media thing. At the same time, his wife and now newborn son have been greenside when he's won twice. Mm-hmm. So it's not like he's like hiding kind of, hiding isn't the right word, just keeping his private life private.
Right.
But he's not on social media, so there's different levels of it, you know. But his personality is such, even though I respect it, I know it doesn't necessarily get people charged up. It's like you can't really dislike Scotty Scheffler. You might not necessarily find him intriguing, but I don't think you necessarily dislike him.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it'd be tough.
I don't know, man. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I like the question because you're right. Messi's despite being this global superstar, has been able to maintain, for the most part, privacy.
Yeah. And
relative to the level of the global superstardom.
Right, where like his play on the field, like you could speak for 10 hours about that before you even get 1 minute on his private life, where I don't think there is anyone out there who you can have the conversation about and not mention something off the field.
Let's see, people are saying Derek Jeter back in the day.
Yeah, but then the Marlins thing where he was...
I was talking about when he was playing.
Yeah, that would have been... That would have followed suit. That would have been a really good one.
That's a nice play, though.
That would have been a really good one.
That's a nice play. Tip of the cap. I didn't see that.
I like
I've
Derek
already scrolled past it now.
Derek Jeter would have had that. I think there was times, and people will be like, no, you're an idiot, Jackson. NBA sucks, whatever. Where Allen Iverson kind of had that.
The answer, where
he had some... But again, like even the answer being his name is the practice, so it's still tough. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's tougher and tougher. And I don't think it's a lot of times the athletes choosing for this to be like the case. Like I'm sure Tom Brady would have loved to just play football and not worry about it, but it's kind of the nature of the beast in a lot of ways.
How can you think that Messi is the GOAT? That's from the 314.
It's not even a question. What do you mean? Like he's...
314 follow-up. Jackson has asked you a question.
Sorry. I think...
Gretzky, Tom wrote.
Yes. Yep. That's in that.
You like that? Wow.
Yes. Without a question. Without question, Gretzky is that. But I'm thinking more recent. I was trying to think more recent.
Like a current
or just fresh, like Brady. Brady is freshly retired. So someone who had played in the last 10 years. Right. But Gretzky is a perfect answer for that, for like the North American version of that. Michael
Phelps? Mike Trout?
No, because he doesn't have Messi has trophies. And that's not Mike Trout's fault. Don't get me wrong, but Messi has trophies. Trout doesn't have trophies. Trout's like what could have been.
Get a lot of Peyton Mannings. I don't see it that way.
You can't be on SNL. You can't be on SNL and be that.
But at the same time, I don't think he's out there with his family. I don't know. I mean,
No, I mean, like, obviously his nephew, Arch, but I don't think, like...
But, are you talking about, like, social media, like, hey, look at me stuff? Or what?
Like with Peyton Manning, you would talk, obviously, about his greatness on the football field, but then pretty quickly you'd get to how funny he is on SNL or the Manning cast, and I don't think that... And I think that's great.
So you don't like Messi's sense of humor?
I don't know anything about Messi's sense of humor. He hasn't learned English because he's like, why? I speak Spanish. I played in Spain forever where they speak Spanish. I'm from Argentina where they speak Spanish. I will speak Spanish and I won't learn English, even if it will net me all this more money. I kind of like that.
A couple people saying Chuck Liddell.
The Iceman? Doubtful. He had a nice little appearance in Blue Mountain State. Real ones know. And an entourage.
Sidney Crosby.
And an entourage. But he's not on the level of greatness of Gretzky or certainly Messi. He's great. Don't get me wrong. He's probably the modern day.
I could see Jamie Rivers walking in.
Oh, I mean, yeah. If I said Sidney Crosby's better than Wayne Gretzky, then I would have everyone come at my neck. So where can I win there? Number 87 in your program, though. Number 1 in your hearts.
Nicely done. Look at that.
Good golfer.
Is that right?
Said the kid. Yeah, good golfer.
What's his index?
No, he's probably single digit. He did that thing with Biz and Whitney that they do, the golf thing that they do. I like watching those.
Spitting chicklets, boys, eh?
I like the spin. I'll say it again. I love everything about hockey up until the gameplay.
Oh, boy.
That's a big concession.
College football may be the blockbuster of professional sports, with quotes around professional. In the last decade, the economics of the sport have fundamentally changed with the emergence of a complicated system to indirectly pay players like NIL, the ongoing potential of unionization of players, the disruption of traditional rivalries, traditional conferences, and traditional viewing partners. Additionally, the lack of oversight of the sport with anyone with a non-monetary interest may lead to the expansion of playoffs that rewards mediocrity, destroys the bowl system, and further relegates the top division of college football into a new Power 2 or Power 3 conferences that use the other Division I conference conference is a feeder system. It's in the 616.
Well, he's had a good case.
Yeah.
I would point that the bowl system has been broken for a long time.
I agree with that point. The bowl system rewarded mediocrity for about the last 30 years.
Right. And I think the playoff, even at 12 teams, you have to be you have to be great to be in the playoff, even
I'll be
at 12
anxious
teams.
to see if this system's in place for 10 years, as we have the SEC Media Days underway right now, opening up. How many 4 through 12s will win, or 5 through 12s, excuse me, and how many 1 through 4s will win?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think you're going to see 1 through 4s winning the majority of the time.
Because what I can tell you about the college football 80s, 90s, 2000s, and even the teens is nobody was really debating, like, could the number 11 team, win the national championship? It wasn't. It was maybe who should be the 5th team, just not necessarily even thinking they would win, but that they deserve it, so to speak. That was the question. But it was clear who the best teams were, and they were in another world. And usually there were 1, maybe 2 or 3. Otherwise, then there was a gap. And then there was a gap between 10 and 11, and then the next, the teams that had round out the top 25, and then the others receiving votes. All right, it's 10:49 in St. Louis. Time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers. One segment left. Jackson's weekend reflection here on Balloon Party. This is 101 ESPN. James Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency, my insurance agent, and I recommend him to our audience because I work with him, and I have worked with him now for more than 5 years. I just think the world of James and his staff and the customer service that they provide. Go online at carltoninsurance.net. 378 5-star reviews for James and his staff when you type James Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency into Google, and that is because people rave about the service that they have had with James and his team. You can call 314-961-4800, and you are going to talk to somebody right here in the St. Louis area immediately. You don't have to worry about being online with some bot, some customer service AI. No. You're talking with somebody who is right here in St. Louis, and that is another reason why I think the world of James. Plus, he will save you money. CarltonInsurance.net. It's James Carlton of the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency. Welcome back. Balloon Party 101 ESPN. Tim McKernan, Jackson Burkett with you. BK and Ferrario up at the top of the hour. Jackson, you have time for a kicker, as we called it in the local news industry. Fun little water skiing squirrel story.
I got a good one here.
All right, what do we got?
St. Louis and Jason Tatum will grace the cover of NBA 2K25 video game, as he described it, a dream come true. My question here is, if you were to pick one still image from any STL sports moment since 2000 for a video game cover, what would it be? And you cannot pick any trophy raising.
Boy, you're putting the man to the test. It's a great question.
Thank you.
I would think Dan Jansen respects this question. You guys might be sideways, but he respects this question.
Yeah, even though I use an NBA prompt.
I think I'm going to go Freeze rounding first with his fist up in the air.
I think it's a really good, because you have all the guys like flowing out of the dugout as well behind him.
Yeah, but usually I feel like they just show the individual. I don't know what, you could have Patty Maroon charging from the net after he beats Bishop.
Yeah, I'm partial to Maroon, a still image of Maroon telling the Bruins bench that they're effed.
That's nice.
I'm also, I think we talked about it last week, Clayton Kershaw down his statuesque pose.
That's a nice play.
Big City with his hands up.
Yeah, that's a nice play. That's a nice play there.
Yeah, Pujols on Lidge, I think is...
That's a nice play. Boy, you're coming up with some nice plays. You really had a bounce-back segment here.
It's a big day for me.
I think Dan Jansen's going to tip his cap. I do.
Marcell Ozuna climbing the wall. I think that one, and then the ball landing.
Pujols and Waino walking off the field together. That's from Trent. I like Trent.
I like Yadi giving Acuna the
I was a big fan of that.
Slash.
I loved that in 2019 after Game 4.
Yeah, I think that would have been a really good one.
Beltran Wainwright after the Beltran strikeout. How about that?
Yeah.
Eric Cleveland in YouTube chat.
Loesch Schumacher.
Yeah, a lot of fists flying around at that time.
I'll go with that one.
No kink shame.
No.
Tyler O'Neill with his shirt off after the walk-off. That's from the 314.
Yeah. Was it Jason Sehorn?
Steve Smith, unfortunate.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate. Freeze heading home, throwing his helmet. That was back-to-back texts. One from the 618, one from the 309.
Yeah, right, like behind between his legs. I kind of like that one.
Guys, it would be Marcell Ozuna on top of the wall.
Yeah. Ozuna climbing the wall. I think that's a good one. I think that's up there.
And you can see the ball in the foreground.
Right, you have to get the ball on the warning track, like almost short of the warning track, by the way.
And the guys in the bullpen laughing uproariously.
Yeah, you can get that shot easily. Not many the field catching on fire at the Dome.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, I think that would be a good one.
Stubby Clapp putting Pete Alonso in a full Nelson.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
314.
Marmol yelling at the manager in Milwaukee that completely turned around the season.
That's right. Cronky with a clown face.
Frank, how are you today?
All right, Jackson. BK and Ferrario are coming up next. Who do they have coming up at 11:15? You don't know.
Somebody.
They have somebody big that they want to make sure we got out early for at 11:15. So we want to respect that. Coming up at 11:15. I can't wait to hear who it is. I'll be listening. That's BK and Ferrario coming up at the top of the hour. For Jackson Bennett Burkett, I'm Timothy Michael McKernan. This has been Balloon Party, driven by Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton Toyota on 101 ESPN.